Hi there, YouTube. This is the Magnus bringing you another Total War Warhammer online ladder battle. It's been a little bit more than a minute, so please forgive my micro. It's going to be, it's going to be a little rusty, but I've seen the multiplayer scene kind of heating up, and I was like, I gotta get in on this action with my old favorite Chaos. So you'll see here I'm going to be playing against the Vampire Coast. So I bring a front line Marauders, as you can see. These guys are just to eat all the shots that I anticipate coming. Out on the flanks I've got Chaos Warriors with halberds, mainly to deal with crabs, stuff like that. We've got Chosen ×2 and an Aspiring Champion, just to help provide some support and some magic damage. Got a Chaos Sorcerer of Death with Spirit Leech, and I have a Fire Sorcerer with the Burning Head, so one spell each. And I don't see many people do this, but when you're playing factions that snipe really well, two casters can be the way to go. And with just one spell each and on their foot, these guys are not very expensive at all. And then you'll see I've got some fun stuff up here. I've got Marauder Horsemen and Marauder Horsemen throwing axes. I got a pair here with Chaos Warhounds with poison and support, and the same thing hidden over here. My opponent's got Luther Harkin. You guys probably know, but he's really good, so that's tough. He's got 3 deck droppers with handguns. And this is really why you got to bring Marauder Horsemen to this matchup. Otherwise, these guys are just going to dick on you all day, and that is not much fun. Of course, he's got Zombie Pirate Deckhand Mobs. He's got Bombers. He's got the Lamprey's Revenge, which are pretty nasty. Some pole arms to help guard the Black Spot and his Bombers and his Carronade. And he's got a Vampire Fleet Captain with the Lore of Vampire. So let's go ahead and get this started. So right away, my goal is to get across the field here pretty quickly. So you can see I'm going to move up. And then I see that he's starting to bring up these deck droppers and Luther Harkin. So I actually decide to expose my Marauder Horseman because I want him to back off or try to back him off. So these two are going to go over here and shoot at him a bit. These two are going to come up here and shoot. And again, if anything decides to dive down, I've got the Chaos Warhounds with poison to either help or to just eat it eat it while the rest of my guys get away. So you'll see Harkin backs off, so I'm just going to try to focus on shooting down some of his deck droppers here. And really, the other reason why I like having a little harassing contingent is because if you don't really have a way to distract your opponent while you're crossing the field. I want him to make mistakes. I want his stuff to shoot at my Marauders instead of being told to shoot at what's coming behind, my better infantry. So it does give you that advantage as well. So the skirmish battle continues. I shoot at the deck droppers. I shoot at Luther Harkin. Probably not great to shoot at Luther Harkin, just because he's very hard to kill. He's really something you want to save till the end. So again, I pull them over and start shooting at the deck droppers. Deck droppers are definitely getting the better of this. So now you see I decide to bring out my Chaos Warhounds with poison. It seems pretty clear he's not going to dive down. If he does, my army's not that far behind. So I want to get them in position to try to make some moves on his missiles and artillery. So my front line continues to approach while the skirmish battle continues. I do get some good damage on Luther Harkin. I think we missed it, but I think I cast Spirit Leech on him. I either did or I'm going to shortly. Excuse me. But yeah, just poking away at him while my heavy metal crew makes their way across this really long battlefield. So between how big the battlefield is and kind of the way this geography is, it's perfect for them to build their box like this. So it's going to be a tough approach. I pulled my missiles back for a little bit. just trying to give them a break. I don't want them all to be dead before the fight even starts. I need them for later. And I'm willing to let some of my other guys take some hits. Sigvald taking some damage there, not great, but he regens as well, and he's pretty tanky. And it looks like he thinks about diving down and thinks better of it. And now we're finally going to get some clash of the front line. So you see I bring in the Warhounds with poison, but they're going to get clipped there because I'm trying to micro too many things at one time. The bombers are going to start wrecking these marauders. I totally expect that. That's what they're here for, is to eat the worst of it, so my better infantry doesn't. I got my missiles back on his deck droppers, trying to shoot them in the back while they shoot me in the back, which is always fun. I bring out the other Chaos Warhounds. I want to get rid of these carronades, just nasty thing. So we're going to get in there and start chewing on these dead guys. Hopefully tie them up long enough. But you can see the bombers are still, like, I'm trying to push through, but infantry is so much harder to push through now than it was back in my Warhammer 1 days. But we're getting some penetration. You see these marauders get in. The final pieces of my infantry are getting chucked into the mix. I figure I'm pretty all in. I've got to push through here. I've got to break up bombers as much as I can. Both of my Chaos Warhounds run. They're very low leadership, but they definitely did damage. You can see his back line is not as healthy as he probably would like it to be. Sigvald getting low, but I keep him in there. He's got to help chop through this. Do some pretty good damage when he lands Luther Harkin there. That's, you know, the halberds are kind of keeping an eye on him. Now, Lamprey's Revenge over here, I probably should get some halberds in here if I haven't yet. Looks like I tried to, and for some reason they stopped. I hate it. A lot of times that happens when there's a flyer nearby. And it looks like I remember that from years ago, so it looks like they still haven't fixed it. But still, his frickin' deck droppers are still having a field day. But I've compromised all of the bombers, which is good. I'm getting into the back lines, and now it's just the black spot and the carronades that are a real problem. Sigvald getting really low here. He's just eating a lot of fire here. He summoned some more zombies. I decide I'm gonna dive in with my cav here. I got to get more penetration. As you can see, infantry got intercepted by the pole arms. His black spot are still up, and I think the carronades are still able to fire. Yep, we haven't quite got through there yet. This flank, I have a lot of stuff starting to run. Here, trying to wrap up these bombers best I can. I've got my sorcerer in there. Got my cab over here. A lot of stuff breaking, and I got to bring it back. These guys were nasty, the Lamprey's Revenge. They were definitely hard to deal with. And I think if I would have got my halberds on them like I wanted to, probably be different. Looks like the balanced power is a little bit against me here. But I still feel pretty good. I mean, I still have a lot of infantry, like the Aspiring Champions. We've got these Marauders. We've got halberds, you know. And his deck droppers, look at them, they're all running out of ammo, which means he got great value out of them, but it also means that their usefulness has been reduced greatly. And now you're going to see a lot of my infantry coming back on this side. We've got pretty much everything mucked up as best we can. Sigvald ate it, so that's a problem. But I still have my Chaos Sorcerer of Fire, and I still have the Sorcerer of Death, so I have leadership. Nasty breath attack from Luther Harkin. He caught me blobbing up here. I hadn't seen any magic that was AoE, so I was like, oh, I'm probably okay. Did not think of that. So Luther's going to dive down. He's going to start giving the business to my Chaos Sorcerer of Fire. With Hornswoggle, I mean, it's going to be as one side as it gets. I try to send him in some help, some mass, kind of muck it up. But as you can see, pretty much all of his zombies have been taken out. The carronades are getting eaten alive right now. The black spot. Back here, he's got deckhand mobs, and he still has lampreys, but they're all melting, and all these guys are starting to rally. The balanced power comes back to the middle, maybe a little bit in my favor as I start to really make things disappear here. His deck droppers have dove in. You know, they don't have ammo, so he's just trying to get every bit out of them you can. Using them to chase off these Chaos Marauders, that's a really good play on his part. Back here though, Lamprey's Revenge is gone. Deckhand Mob's about to be gone. Gunnery White's gone, so now we're really working on the Vampire Captain. Now I'm just going to kind of get everybody in there. Save Luther Harkin for last. You know, he can fly, he can dodge, he can, you know, do all these things. He's very tanky, so just save him for last. If you take out all of his help, all of his support, you know, he's going to crumble. So off goes my Chaos Sorcerer of Fire. Not great, but still a lot of infantry in here, and the Marauder Cav, and I still have the Sorcerer of Death. So yeah, he's killed my Lord. He's almost killed my Sorcerer of Fire, but I still have leadership. And now, you know, Luther's doing his cycle charging. He gets another summon off, but still working. Every time he dives down, we try to grab a hold of him. I think that's a mistake. I should just stick on the Vampire Fleet Captain here. Bounce power back to the middle as a lot of my guys are terror routing off. Nailbiter here, not sure. So I just keep trying to grind it out in here. Get rid of this Vampire Fleet Captain. Looks like he's at critical binding. Hoping he's going to break. These summons are starting to wear out, and you can see that the balance is in his favor. But once this resolves, it's going to be a lot different. Hopefully. So here, you know, my toughest thing against him is these Chaos Warriors with halberds, right? Still have 45 models, and just trying to use the Cav to muck him up so he can't get up into the air. Just sending everything after him now, because the Vampire Fleet Captain is in good hands here, as in he's getting chopped up by Chosen. And he dies. So bounce power back in the middle. So if you were looking for a close match to welcome me back to Warhammer, we got what we asked for. So now he doesn't have any units on the ground. He's got to start diving into attack. Smart play doing so over here. I've got infantry coming back from far away. He gets another breath attack. Sorcerer of Fire is in trouble. And he's trying to knock out my leadership, which is, you know, a great way to try to finish me here. But with Chosen Aspiring Champions, remember, Inspiring Champions, well, they have encourage. They inspire your troops. So they're a good substitute for leadership too. So lots of redundancy in my leadership here. So now it's just Luther Harkin down on the ground. He's got his deck droppers flying around trying to pick off some of my guys who are coming back. Luther Harkin's just nasty. I mean, look at him going crunk in there. But over here, the Chaos Warriors with halberds, not the best thing for him to dive down on. I mean, they're gonna put up a fight against these deck droppers, who actually don't have too bad of melee stats, but you know, they're not Chaos Warriors with halberds. So you're gonna see they're starting to fade over here. Let's see how our boy Luther Harkin's doing. Still have some stuff running away, have things running back. Definitely a micro challenge when you're dealing with fear and terror, and in a late game like this, trying to bring everything back. You can see his deck droppers are melting. They did not do well against the halberds, and now I'm sending everything after Luther Harkin, and things are starting to look pretty poor for him. The balance of power just starts diving into my favor, and looks like we're gonna have ourselves a little Luther Harkin for dinner tonight, boys. So chop, 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 and he's gonna start disintegrating, and off he goes. So obviously GG to my opponent, Fat. I didn't call you Fat, man, you did it first. Let's take a look at how our units performed. So Sigvald I did not get much value out of. You saw him eat cannon shots and gunfire and everything like that. Sorcerer of Death, definitely good value. By the way, I love this feature. It's the best thing ever. Chaos Sorcerer of Fire, a lot of damage, but zombies, obviously. Yeah, Marauders did what they were supposed to do, and some of them were effective, but you know, they go in and they eat it. Aspiring Champions, good. Halberds did great. I mean, they're 850 a pop. You get 1100 and 1400, you're good. Chosen, definitely worth their weight. My skirmishers did okay. This one did great, but they served their purpose very well. And yeah, if my micro was better, I think these poison hounds would have been just fine. So I think it's a good build. I feel like you have to go wide against Vampire Coast. You got to have some sponge, which is what these Chaos Marauders were. Make them eat it. And unfortunately, Sigvald also acted as a sponge. Luther Harkin, just a beast. Great value there. Zombies didn't do much. Bombers, not bad, right? These guys did well. Deck droppers are almost always good. Lamprey's Revenge, a lot of damage, but not a whole lot of value. And of course, the Carronade was definitely good for him. But anyways, it's good to be back. I'm hoping to continue to do videos again. And I'm also thinking about jumping into some of the tournament scene. I've seen Turin doing a lot of things. Obviously, I have some work. I got to get Chaos up to speed, and then obviously I'm going to have to work on a couple more factions. But in a month or two, maybe sooner, I might be ready to give it a go. But anyways, it's great to see you guys. Good to be back, and I'll see you soon.